Hello everyone and welcome to episode 11 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me as always my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
How you doing, folks?
And DocH1X1.
Hey, what's up?
First and foremost, I wanted to shout out our newest Patreon patrons, Toast, Castle Willkill, and Ross, all of 16 Ounce Gaming.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to you guys. Thanks a lot for your support.
Thank you so much, actually. That is fantastic, guys.
Do you know how sarcastic that sounded, Doc?
I mean, I think I've been on record as being one of Toast's biggest fans, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, at least you made it 30 seconds into the podcast before throwing shade at him. It's good.
Do you want to know how I know when I'm going to win a gunfight in Fortnite?
No. Oh, for the love of God. It's too soon.
Okay, sorry.
Do you want some V-Bucks instead?
I know a guy. He's got a lot.
Inside baseball.
Let's go.
I had a question. Somebody asked me this at work today, so I wanted to ask you guys because I wanted to get your opinion on it. Would you rather be sticky or wet all the time?
God.
Like tree sap sticky. So like everything you touched, it's gonna stick.
See,
paper.
I'd rather be wet. No, I can't do sticky. No, can't do it.
So are we talking your whole body or just...
Yeah, your whole body.
Okay,
like,
wet.
Or you're just like damp, like you just came out of the shower, just all the time.
Oh.
I mean, that's pretty much the environment I'm living in right now in South Central Kentucky, so might as well stick with what's going on. So, yeah, the thought of being sticky all the time almost horrifies me to a phobia almost, so couldn't do that.
I just brought up a phobia you didn't know you had.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, God, no.
Nightmares tonight. So what did you answer to that then, Risky?
Wet. Sticky. No, thank you.
Yeah, because you're not a crazy person. Thank you.
Just everything you touch, like, yeah, you get something wet, that's fine. It'll dry off. You get something sticky, it's ruined forever. So. I mean, am I also? Do I become Aquaman? I mean, like, what? How far are we going with this? Like, I mean, no, you forgot to towel off once you got out of the shower,
okay.
And you're stuck like that forever.
So I'm just that weirdo at the gym that profusely sweats after like lifting one weight. Just
yeah, just like
gun.
you're sweaty all the time.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, how about video games?
I think I need a shower. Go.
What are you guys playing this week? Chocolate. You're up first.
Not a great deal. Battlefield 1, the beginning of the week, and then just Rocket League. I cannot shake Rocket League. If I've got 5-10 minutes to play, I'm in and out of that season game like anything. I just, yeah.
What difficulty are you sitting at for your season difficulty?
Oh, let's not talk about that.
All right, we don't need to.
Default.
That's fine. Default.
Look,
right.
Look, Risky. He got to a water stage. It's a little difficult. Okay, well, he'll get there. Like, it's fine.
I have pumped some money in as well. I've bought the Batmobile.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
I have the Batmobile. I'm a sucker for some of those cars.
Yeah.
The DeLorean.
DeLorean. Yeah.
I haven't bought that. I did buy the Jurassic Park one because I had to have that T-Rex roar.
The explosion.
Yeah, that's just so good, so good.
But you can't mix and match, can you? So you can buy your set thing, and they won't let you change any of the default settings of that car.
You can't change the cosmetics of it, which is a little bit of a bummer, but yeah.
So you can't have the Batmobile with a wizard hat on it?
No. Or the T-Rex roar, as you...
It's a travesty.
It really is, actually. Which, by the way, shout out to Toast on naming Ryan's vehicle. That was top. That got a chuckle out of me when I heard him in game give a code name to Ryan's van. It was pretty great. So.
Is it something you can say?
It rhymes with tape. I'll give you that.
Oh, the tape van.
Yeah, the tape van.
I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah,
I got you.
I laughed. So.
Was it a white panelled van, was it?
Well, it had a wizard hat on top, so it went right away with the, hey
Harry
Potter in my windowless van, which is basically rolling probable cause. Like, what? I don't know.
Oh, God. That's good. So, Chocolate, I was also going to say you played The Division with me for about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think I loaded in,
What?
didn't I? I didn't put that one down. Loaded in, waited for everyone else to come in, and I
You're like,
I
oh, my
was
wife's
out.
home. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
You
peace out.
got to get Chocolate early. If you don't catch him early with his attention, he's just not committing.
Yeah, that's it. I'm a 4 p.m. Eastern man. That's the time I can play.
When the sun's out and there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
Why don't you just move over here?
Yeah.
Pack the wife and kids. They'll love it.
Or just leave them here and just go myself.
You know, man, that's
Your words.
This is up to you at this point. I'm not making decisions for you.
Yep.
I would love to. I don't think my wife's keen on a move. So,
All right,
it's a shame.
so never mind. We'll just
Thank
never
you for
play
the
video
bummer.
games again, ever.
No, I'm trying not to. Try not to even get in parties with you, Risky. Come on.
Perfect.
This is getting a little awkward.
Yeah, it's not starting well, this podcast, is it?
I don't. Doc, what have you been playing?
It's a little bit of the same. Battlefield 1. That just getting ready for Battlefield 5, in which we've got some news about that Battlefield 1 later, which is pretty cool, but still good. Actually was real stupid and broke down and bought No Man's Sky, even though I own it on Steam, and I'm an idiot, but there was a really sweet Xbox suit you could get.
Oh, you were the worst.
Yeah, I am. I'm a garbage person for ordering this game, but I did. And
$50?
Look, I could justify jumping off a cliff if there were achievements involved, and of course, I'm just like, well, achievements, so reasons, and yeah, I bought it for $50, which is I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it, Risky. Okay.
When's the last time
And-
you played it on Steam?
Actually, to be fair, the last time I played it was probably like a year ago.
So, I mean, it's a completely different game at this
Yeah,
point.
I had only seen one of the, maybe two of the updates, or I think it had been updated twice when I played it with the I guess DLCs you call them, but I didn't actually see any of the vehicle one yet. So it had been updated when I played it last, but I didn't actually see any of that stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, so it for all intents and purposes, it's basically a new game for me too. You know, that game's not for everybody, even with all they've added. I would say if you want a toned down, less serious version of Elite Dangerous meets Minecraft, then that game's probably for you.
I would say Minecraft is the biggest, or even, did you ever play Astroneer?
Yeah, totally, yep.
I definitely get like a weird Minecraft Astroneer
Absolutely.
vibe from it.
You know, definitely not as deep on a lot of the stuff like base building and stuff like that, or not as deep on like the space stuff as like say like Elite Dangerous, but like but in my opinion, I like it more because of that. Because Elite Dangerous to me is I try to get into it, it's just super overwhelming.
I feel like I need to take a 4-year college course to understand exactly how to be efficient at Elite Dangerous.
Totally, yeah. And so because it's a little bit more chill, I like it.
It definitely seems like one of those a good like a podcast game is what I like to call them.
I literally was about to say that. Yeah,
be paying attention to the actual game because you don't need to. It's kind of mindless.
Yeah, I put like Diablo 3 and No Man's Sky in the same group of exactly. It's a podcast game. You can listen to a podcast while still playing that game, and
you're not going to miss a beat.
No, or even just multiplayer, just hanging out, chilling with your buddies, talking shit or whatever. Like it's good for that too. So
I wasn't asked. Did you actually get to hop in and play with anyone with the new multiplayer
I haven't yet.
stuff?
No, I haven't yet. It seems from what I've watched on streams pretty easy to do, but I've not actually seen anybody or hopped in anybody's game yet. But yeah, it seems like that's pretty easy to do. So I'm sure I will eventually.
So that's my biggest thing is that before we hop off No Man's Sky quick.
Yeah.
I booted it up this week as well, but I booted it up on my PS4 because I had purchased it at launch way back when. And I started a new game, and I got put on my starting planet was like a toxic gas planet with aggressive like sentinels. I think that's what they're called.
So that game hates you also.
Cute. Like I was like jumping with my jetpack, just trying to run as fast as I could.
Please leave me alone.
Like it's tough enough to figure out like what I'm supposed to be doing at the very beginning of a game while my like health is being depleted from like toxic gas, and every time I try to like break down a rock, this little robot thing gets pissed and starts shooting at me. So that was short-lived.
Yeah. Understandable.
The only thing I was going to ask is that if you thought the multiplayer would make it worth a purchase on the Xbox, but you haven't dabbled in it yet, so
I haven't, and the $50 price tag is pretty steep considering that theoretically
Right.
the same game exists on PS4 for $20 less.
And this is something where like I know my game share partner isn't into it, so it's like at $25, sure, whatever. I would have bought it. That's like under the $30 threshold. If I'm on the fence, it's usually a buy.
Yeah.
But because he was like, nope, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I can wait for a sale, or if like people were really getting into it in the community, like the multiplayer aspect, then I'd be in. But
Yeah, and who knows? Like, we'll see what ends up happening with all the community stuff, because apparently they're now starting to do weekly updates and stuff, which is something new also.
I saw they're doing like weeklies, right?
Yeah, or it sounds like it basically, yeah. And so, I mean, it definitely sounds like that it's going to be a more actively involved, I guess, updating the game than they were, or more open with the community about what they're doing than they were before. So, I mean, we'll see. I would say that for most people out there, this probably is a wait for a sale type game, but I'm glad I bought it because it is a fun game just to chill and fly around, and it's probably even better playing with friends, so...
I think I just need to start over again and just hope for some better RNG with my starting planet, because
that
really left a bad
I
taste
just
in my
imagine you
mouth.
running, being like, "Trust me, I want to get off this planet too. Just let me. I want to leave. I don't want to stay."
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go.
And
just
like,
let me.
I can still remember my first planet, like when I was playing on PlayStation, and it kind of reminded me of Mars. Like it was all red, and it was just it was so docile and just calm. That this one was just like I was in the apocalypse and all hell had broken loose, and I was like, what did I do wrong? I am a small child right now. I was just birthed into this world, and raining toxic gas on my face and shooting me with your stupid robot guns.
Yeah, it's I will say the one thing that I probably picked up is the biggest difference that I did remember from playing it a year ago was that it seems, because I've only visited like I think 5 planets now, and they're all in my initial system, but like it definitely seems like the planets are more naturally cool and varied to like looking and stuff as far as what's on them, how caves are formed, lakes and stuff. It seems like the planets are just naturally cooler for like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like
more varied?
Varied and just like procedurally generated in a much neater kind of cool way, as far as like how the landscape looks. Like where I'm like you, to where I remember playing on PC and going to a lot of different planets, and I would go down the planets like, this is nothing but a black rock. Like this is the moon and not even craters. Like, this is nothing here, or this is just all red and I need to put on sunglasses because I'm going blind. Like it's
right, yeah.
To where now I feel like, and maybe I just started in a really good solar system. Maybe this isn't the case, but it seems like how they procedurally generate planets has gotten better. But
unless you're me,
unless you're risking which you're on just like Death Planet 502 Alpha Centauri or whatever. But like, yeah, it's I don't know, but I've enjoyed it so far. But yeah, it's not bad.
There should just be some type of algorithm that's like, oh, your first planet, it's not going to be a death trap. Like, we'll give you a chance.
Well, and I have to imagine there's something in place, but I guess you still have outliers, like with what happened to you, basically. To like, I'm sure they probably stacked the odds in favor of getting a favorable first one.
If that's the
clearly,
truth, I am retiring as a gamer.
You have the worst luck in the world.
It's
100%.
awful.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, been playing that, and Sea of Thieves is kind of storing up money because apparently they are, when Curse Sales hits tomorrow, they are, or I don't know if it's tomorrow. They are supposedly going to have a huge discount on like everything that's in the game. As far it's going along with the theme of like all the merchants and stuff at Outposts are like terrified of the scourge that's coming, and
oh, that's really cool.
They're putting stuff on sale, like which is cool because you can go in the game now and see everything leading up to it, like. If you go on the shore, there are like markings of like almost like skeleton feet and stuff that have washed up, like you could see on the shore of like the outpost, and like random shopkeepers. Like if you look at them with a telescope before you go in the shop, like one chick was looking at her arm, and her arm was a skeleton arm, and she was like freaking out. Like obviously, it's like, why is my arm skin and bone, or just like bone? And you walk in and she hides her arm from you, and you can see behind her what looks to be like what the cursed cannonballs are now.
That's awesome. And that's all before the update's actually out.
Yeah, that's right now. You could go in the game today and see some of that as far as like what's in the world right now.
That's a pretty cool way to roll it out.
Yeah, and the cursed cannonballs look cool because it's basically like that globe that guy dropped in that teaser trailer at E3. That's basically what the cursed cannonballs are. They look like glowy green or yellow snow globes.
Yep.
Yeah, but it sounds like that's cool too because they've already showed off some stuff to where one, if you hit a ship, everybody on it is instantly drunk, throwing up. Or if you hit him, the cells automatically drop. There's a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, I'm basically just getting ready for cursed cells to hit tomorrow and jump into that.
Good. So you'll have more to report back for our weekly Sea of Thieves talk.
Oh yeah,
next week.
100%.
Perfect. Right. I missed the Sea of Thieves.
I would say Chocolate was gone again on Father Duties, but it didn't matter because Doc talked about Sea of Thieves literally the whole time we were gone.
Nothing really matters at that part.
All right, good. What I've been playing this week, you were done, right, Doc?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Sorry, your half hour is done.
That was just the prelude. That was the prologue to the Sea of Thieves stuff.
So this is a weird one, but I hopped into Skate 3 this week.
Oh, that is random.
Yeah, super random, but I noticed that it was downloaded and in my games page. It was one of those nights where I was scrolling through the 300 games that are all downloaded on my Xbox, and I was like,
right.
How do I have nothing to play?
None of these interest me.
I want to play none of these right now. And then Skate 3 popped up, and I was like, yeah, sure. All right, let's give it a roll. I played a bunch of that back in the day, and so I fired that up. I just put it into free skate mode, which is I feel like what I always used to do, where you're literally just you pick your area and you just start to skate. You don't have to worry about anything besides the skating part, which is the best part of those games.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was the Skate 3 the game that your guy almost has Jedi powers of making the skateboard come to his hand?
So you can,
okay, I thought so. I thought that's one thing that I remembered from it.
You could hop off your board and you could move dumpsters around, or you set different things up. It's real weird. As far as hopping off your board and being able to be on your feet, it actually seems really intuitive. Because if you're just sessioning a rail, you can set up session markers or whatever. But so I would hit a rail, I could hop off my skateboard, just sprint back up the stairs quick, and just go again. It's if I wasn't doing that, I was slowly skating back up a steep hill to get back up to the top, or in any other older game like that. It's just that wouldn't have been a thing.
How does that look in 4K? Because I know it got an update.
I was playing on my monitor, so it
gotcha.
looks fine on my monitor down in the 1080s.
The pleb territory.
Yeah, exactly.
Garbage person territory.
Yeah, I just really need monitors with 4K and HDR and just the perfect one for the Xbox. I need it to drop down from the $2,000 range to
Well, not only that, but I'm waiting for the monitor that is 4K with decent HDR on a monitor with FreeSync. I'm waiting for that one.
Yeah, just I want every box checked, but I don't want it to cost me as much as a used car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's coming eventually, maybe.
Well, yeah, it is, Doc. I just don't want to wait. That's the problem. I know it will be.
Finger.
It's technology is progressing, says the most obvious Captain Obvious ever.
Because it's all these intense first-person shooter games that I'm definitely going to play on my 1080p monitor. It's they're going to be 4K, and I'm that doesn't do anything for me.
Well, that's kind of the problem now. I feel like I'm a complete snob with it now because anytime I see a game that has unlocked frame rate, I'm like, man, if I only had a FreeSync monitor, because that would actually make this unlocked frame rate work. Yeah, exactly. It's just unless I can get the one that has it all, I'm not putting that kind of cash in any of this.
Exactly. So I'm just sitting back waiting for that perfect monitor someday. And by the time it comes out and it is $2,000, I'll probably be I've been saving up for this for 7 years now, so I'm gonna buy it. I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah. Well, probably around the time Scarlet drops, so you'll need to save up for that too.
Well, speaking of my bad spending habits, I also picked up Banner Saga 1 through 3 because buying the first one and playing it and then deciding to play the second and third one and purchase them. Like that didn't work in my head. So I bought the first one and I was like, yeah, I'm going to like this. So let's buy the second and the third one right now.
Yeah. See, Chocolate the other day was saying how, like, Risky, he's an impulse buyer. And I'm like, that's not the Risky I know at all. So, yeah.
He bought the collection.
No, I justified it because I was going to buy Octopath Traveler, a $60 game. I decided against that. And then I was like, well, I can buy the 3 Banner Saga games for $60. So pretty much all comes out in the wash. I'm not losing any money here. So
that math holds up. It checks out.
I'm going to have to disappear again. This
right.
child is crying.
Ninja poof.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was after seeing that I also had Banner Saga 1 and 2 already on my Xbox.
I don't feel so bad about No Man's Sky now, Risky. Thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm sure I'll buy No Man's Sky as soon as I get off recording right now. So, but there's no way I bought those games though. So they must have both been games with gold at some point.
Actually, I think they might have been. Yeah, I know one of them was recently games with gold. So
yeah, but it's just like the third. I think it was just because the third one was coming out, so it's like people were talking about it again, and like Waterloo is just playing through it for his first time, and like the kid hates reading, which sounds great.
Everything I've ever heard about Waterloo, just awesome. I just just seems like a great guy. Just yeah.
But yeah, so he loves this game, and like as I'm playing through it right now, it's like it's a choose your own adventure book with tactical turn-based strategy, kind of like or on a grid, so kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics, like
totally
that kind of idea. But it's like he loved it for the story, and I was like, that's my favorite part of games, so I should give this a shot. And I'm only 2 chapters in, so I bought these because I was going out to camp where I don't have Wi-Fi or anything, so I need something that I could play offline. Didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, but it's something I think I'm definitely gonna stick with. I don't know, it's a lot of fun, and the story is intriguing. It's like Viking themed, but kind of like loosely based on Vikings. There's these things called Varl, so they're like giants essentially. They're like I don't know, twice the size of humans, but instead of having like the Viking helmet with the horns, these dudes just have like horns coming out of their heads that look like the Viking like horns.
The Varl, okay.
The Varl, yeah. You're familiar.
Yes.
But then also like the Viking ships, like the white and red striped sails on them, that kind of stuff. And it's like all the combat is with axes, and so it's definitely Norsey. If that's
I got a feeling I'm going to probably be going back to play it on Xbox because that does seem right up my alley. I'm not really sure why I haven't ever given it a shot, but yeah, it seems right up my alley as far as that goes. How would you say is the difficulty on those that you've played so far? Like, or maybe is it still ramping up? Or
well, the good thing is your difficulty. You do have a difficulty slider, so you can do easy. I think it's easy, medium, hard, or easy, default, hard, or whatever. I'm just playing it on default. I've had a few battles where somebody's went down, but usually it's only one person. It's like they do come back up. It's not like a permadeath thing.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that next. Yeah, okay. So that seems a little less crazy then, okay.
Right. So all that happens is your next match, if they're not rested up enough, they won't be as strong, or their health won't be as high. So
okay.
It's not a super big deal if you lose, or it's like if you lose the fight outright, you don't have to replay it or anything. It's just going to alter how your overall story is, which is cool.
Oh, that's different. Okay, cool.
But yeah, so like when you're not doing the actual turn-based strategy stuff, it's like I said, it's really just kind of like a choose your own adventure. There's a lot of dialogue to get your story, but then you also have dialogue choices. So you're choosing how to approach different things. Like one scenario could be this one guy murdered this other guy. Who are you gonna side with? Like the guy's family that died or the murderer, and like you'll hear the two sides, and it's just
okay. And
from that, more things will happen with your story. If you sided like with the village or against the village, it's like you might get more troops because you went with the majority, or your morale might go down because of some of these decisions you make.
That seems really cool, actually. Like, and I guess it goes without saying, this sounds like there's obviously multiple endings. Then
there has to be.
Yeah,
100%.
But I don't know. Yeah, that's this seems way more in depth and cool in a way that I never thought it would be, as far as just like looking at it outwardly in. Because like I totally didn't expect the whole like, oh, you lose the battle, but the story still progresses just in a different way. That is a unique take on that for sure. That's
yeah,
cool.
and then I mean it'll like I haven't lost the battle yet, but I also haven't gone through a ton of them, and there's still I definitely think it's gonna ramp towards like in the later levels. But like when I was listening to reviews and stuff, it was like it gets brought up in the dialogue after you lose. They'll be like, oh well, after we suffered that defeat at here, it's like we're down X amount of supplies or whatever. Like
okay. So is there like a preparation phase then or something, or not really? Or
you do have there's this thing, I think it's called renown, I want to say.
Okay.
It's a currency that's used to level up your characters. It's also used to purchase weapons. It's also used to purchase supplies, and supplies are a big part. It's just called generic like supplies.
Yeah.
And if your army doesn't have enough, their morale will go down. Or it's like people will start to starve.
Gotcha.
But that's
Okay.
you buy that with the same currency that you need to level up your characters and
gotcha.
buy
Okay.
new weapons, level up weapons, that kind of stuff.
It's kind of like that XCOM, like, do I spend money to upgrade this facility or buy armor for this guy? Or, like, it's that pool of money that you're having to make all these hard choices with, I guess, like,
right,
sort of thing.
So it's like at this point, I am not running into like a crunch with how much renown I have. So it's like I am being able to supply my army, being able to upgrade people like when they need to be leveled up or whatever.
Yeah.
So that hasn't become an issue for me yet, but definitely is going to happen. You can tell it's going to happen eventually.
I'm sure it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, game. I get it.
But yeah, as far as the prep goes, so there's like the leveling up and stuff. And then you can also set your turn order. If you have people that you want to fight first or be up first, you can move them.
Okay.
Other than that, there's like attachments, like certain charms and stuff. So
red dots that I can put on my X.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm in.
That's You need the best.
I was
scopes
waiting
for
till when
your
you got to the good
axes.
part here, so I'm engaged now. I'm listening.
The whole thing is also, it's all hand drawn artwork too. Like even if you haven't played the game, you may have seen what the artwork looks like.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that was one of the things that first caught my eye about it, as far as like how it looks.
It's
for sure.
beautiful, and a lot of it, like a lot of the game is spent watching your caravan of people, like your giant army, just like march through these giant landscapes in the background that are all beautifully drawn.
Yeah.
And you don't mind like watching that. And the score in this, like the music's super good.
Yeah.
It has a lot of awesome stuff going for it, and I'm kind of mad that I never had picked this up before.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of bummed out just like hearing you talk about that. I never actually did give it a try and stick with it for an extended period of time because, I'm like you. I've had the first two on Xbox, which was probably games with Goat or whatever. But I think I'm probably going to go ahead and, at least during this summer before a lot of the big games hit, I might go back and try to play and beat the first one maybe.
Give it a shot. I feel like I heard the first game is only like 10 hours to get all the way through the campaign.
I'm actually, that sounds even better to me then, because that seems like something doable. So I'm all for that.
It's definitely, it's not super long, which is good. There's not much else to say about it, I don't think. Besides, the last thing I'll say is that your all your save data and like your choices and stuff that carries on from one game to the other. So that's also kind of cool. So if someone dies at the end of the game, maybe, I don't know if the outcomes can become that drastic, but so whatever choices you make in the first game are going to carry over to the second, and then are also going to carry over to the newest game that just came out last week.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I want to say, actually, before, just to give a shout out too, I think Shine is currently maybe getting ready to do or is doing a playthrough of 3, and I remember him kind of talking about something to do with that. He was having issues carrying over his save data
maybe that's from what it 2 was. To 3, I think, which sucks, because in a game like this where you're literally melding your own story, it's like, I don't want some generic starting point if I've already put 20, 30, 40 hours, however long, into your
Mass
current
Effect
story.
Thing where it's just like, hey, Shepard, tell us all the crazy stuff that happened the last few years to you.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right. Well,
not bad.
It's gonna be tough to do a chocolate call-out challenge
We might shelf that one for now.
without Chocolate being here, so we'll get to that
Okay.
later in the episode. We'll just we'll put it in after news, and hopefully Chocolate will be back by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, up next we'll get into the news. All right, so do you want me to read
No,
these
yeah,
titles?
you go ahead. Actually, I didn't know if we were pausing for just to show you how professional. Like I was like, maybe we're pausing for a music segment there or something like that. I don't know.
I need half a second, and we can cut that bad boy.
Yeah,
I'm becoming efficient at Audacity.
Hell yeah. Risky Audacity, the kid that's what he's known as. Just
yep, good enough.
Fact.
All right, first news story: Switch and Xbox One versions of RPG Maker MV will be compatible.
Yeah, so this kind of so I've never actually played this game before, or I guess any iteration of it. I don't even know if it's I say RPG Maker MV. I don't know if it had a previous sequels or whatever, but basically it's a build your own adventure RPG Maker. It's got a pretty cool art style actually to it, and it's scheduled to come out. The reason I'd heard about it was it's scheduled to come out next year on the Switch. And then I think maybe a few weeks ago they said, oh, it's also coming out on Xbox and I think even PS4 also, so pretty much everywhere. And then another story came out, and this is Nintendoeverything.com, basically that aside from the Switch, RPG Maker MV will be releasing on other platforms like Xbox One. According to Famitsu, the two platforms will be compatible with each other. That means if you create something on the Switch, for example, users on the Xbox One will be able to access it. So we're seeing more crossplay in kind of different ways evolve now to where this is almost more in the vein of like a Mario Maker where somebody made a level and then somebody gets to play it elsewhere kind of thing. Yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about that as far as like just seeing these new and different iterations of crossplay come to life now?
Are you back, Chocolate?
I am back, yes.
Oh, then you can talk. Perfect.
God damn it. No, everything's lining up with Xbox and Nintendo kind of getting in bed with each other, aren't they, really? It's,
Yeah, I'm starting to think my Switch is a portable Xbox at some point. Like, it's like not far from it.
Playing my Fortnite, playing my Minecraft. It's
Yeah.
When I read this earlier, I was thinking...
Rocket
I've
League,
got,
like, yeah.
Well, I've got a feeling that Microsoft are going to stay away from a handheld.
because they have the Switch.
Because they have the...
As daft as it sounds...
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great, doing all these cross plays and cross accounts and giving a couple of fingers to a certain other platform.
I mean, yeah, not to harp on it, but I think it's pretty obvious that the one company that was left out of this article, so I'm assuming that means that is not going to be compatible with that. I don't know, but
I think this part is only going to benefit the Switch because I can see now PlayStation will possibly start making other deals with Switch on other games, and you'll see this Xbox PlayStation just using the Switch potentially as a middleman. So for Switch users, fantastic, great.
well, possibly, but I don't know if anything Sony has ever done yet has led me to believe that they like Nintendo any better than Microsoft when it comes to that kind of stuff.
But they're not bringing out a handheld, are they?
Sony at least has a history with it. They're the ones that you could at least see possibly. Well, I don't know if they would ever
return
get
of
back
the
into
Vita.
it. Yeah, Vita 2. I don't know if that would ever happen, but at least they have a history. Well, I mean, the PSP was successful, so at least they've got that to look back at.
Yeah.
Moderately so, I mean, but
Successful
yeah,
enough.
I don't know. Yeah, enough to where it got the Vita. They made another one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Sony ever plays ball with Nintendo, or if they're just like everybody's our competition, not happening kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I just
They'll
hope
alienate at some point. They will alienate all their consumers at some point.
hey man, I thought Fortnite the biggest game of our lifetime would have done that, and it didn't.
If that can't do it, what can?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But anyways, so that, that's, I guess I could give a little snippet. I kind of forgot to go over this. I actually do have a description of the game just to kind of give you guys a heads up as far as if it might interest you. So it's an epic journey begins with you. You become a master game developer with RPG Maker MV with an assortment of tools at your fingertips. Create elaborate, exciting, and memorable video games straight from your console. Then share your adventures online with other players who can enjoy your epic chronicles. The possibilities are endless with the latest and greatest RPG Maker software. With hundreds of assets and an infinite number of ways to create your game, turn your dream tale into the next greatest video game.
You know what I think of? I think someone mentioned this in Discord at some point, but like getting this into the right hands of someone in the community, I'm not gonna say who, could make
I know
some absurd video games that like only the community has to play them. But they'd be so good.
You talk about opening Pandora's box, but I want to play that so bad just to see.
I mean, it's only gonna be good if you can bring in custom images, but
I'm sure you can get creative.
As long as there's an eggplant image, we're golden.
Oh yeah, we're golden. We're set.
It does sound cool though. It definitely seems like a Mario Maker-esque type of thing, just for RPGs. I'm assuming this is all like 16-bit or like that style of RPG.
Yeah, that's the look it has. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely so you can see where they're able to kind of. This is a game where I don't think you can make it unless it's that style, really. So
right, and then you'll have your like different or not. I don't know, like these are the 16 different houses you can lay out. These are like our character models. You can just pick one of them and throw it in. It's definitely cool. And then I'm assuming you must be able to input your own text somehow.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm assuming there's got to be some like. I don't know what you would call it, but basically like systems set up to where it's like, okay, you cross this line, this little cutscene happens, or this fight happens, or there's got to be. I'm sure there's tools in place to make all that stuff work and put in your dialogue and all that. So.
I will say that Kabowski's chat pad will finally come in handy if he's making RPGs here. Can you imagine having to type out the dialogue in your game through like the keypad on screen with your Xbox controller?
I cannot. I can't. In fact, cannot.
Oh god.
Maybe this will be the game to finally push Microsoft over to be like, and we're finally announcing mouse and keyboard support because of this game.
Just because of this one game. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we knew it would be terrible otherwise.
Can you imagine a world like if anyone could do it with their funds, it would be Microsoft, but they just like bought out Nintendo and turned them into just software and handhelds, and that's what they did for Microsoft.
They totally could, because the thing that always like kind of bewilders me is that if you Google richest companies in the world, basically you have Amazon, then I think it's like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google in order, and I think Microsoft just passed up Google not too long ago, and they're about 30 billion away from Amazon, but it's one of those things where people are like, well, Amazon's thinking about making a box. If anybody can do it, they can just throw money at it. I'm like, I don't think people realize how ridiculously rich Microsoft is. They like when they were talking about buying EA, they could have totally bought majority share of EA and not batted an eye at it. I mean, really. They've got, I think, I want to say 40 billion liquid on hand cash, so they could totally get a majority share in Nintendo.
Chump change.
At the very least, minority share. They could at the very least do that with Nintendo, and then you talk about
sign up exclusive deals for life.
Well, I was about to say, you think there's a relationship now with Nintendo and Xbox? They get a minority share, and they basically have what Nintendo has in the Pokemon company. Like, you don't see Pokemon coming on in anything but Nintendo. So, yeah.
Wow. I guess I'm going to read these news stories now, aren't I?
Yes, your job now.
Go.
Right. EA shareholders conference call. So, Doc.
Yeah. Long lived. No, so basically, anytime these big companies have a conference call, we always get some juicy tidbits because anybody can listen in for the most part.
And I love juicy tidbits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we already had the wet, sticky conversation. I mean, like, it was kind of all coming full circle now. But anyways, EA is speaking of crossplay, I know this is getting to be an overwhelming theme, but hey, the stories are the stories. EA is considering crossplay for Battlefield 5. Chris Eventon, EA's vice president of investor relations, stated, "We are looking at key franchises in terms of how we can deliver cross-platform play in a similar way that Fortnite has, especially some of our titles that have broad and diverse player bases. The ability to bring PC to mobile or mobile to console can bring family and friends together, and we think that's an important part of our future development profile. Expect more from us on that front in the future." So I still think the big holdup on this is we're going to eventually have to have mouse and keyboard support on Xbox to
make it
really
competitive.
see this. And to make it to where there's hoppers that actually fill up with people from both sides of things. But I guess, it's one of those things of where if mobile, I don't know. I guess I never thought of it happening with Fortnite. But do you guys see a world where a buddy sitting beside you on the couch with an iPhone in a match of Battlefield 5 domination with you guys while you're on Xbox?
Maybe not this generation, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
With how powerful some of the current cell phones are,
Totally.
and if you have third-party resources for controllers, like Moga makes controllers that are just Bluetooth to your phone, so you're not at a disadvantage from your controller if you're using controllers between Xbox and the phone or whatever.
Right.
I could totally see that. I think Fortnite is a prime example of what is in store for the future as far as crossplay goes. You can be playing on your PC, Chocolate can be on his Xbox, and I can literally be on my cell phone. And we can all be in a game of Fortnite. If you told me that 10 years ago, no, that won't be a thing.
I would argue if you'd have told me that a year ago, I might not believe you, actually. If you look at where we were a year, 2 years ago, we were nowhere near any of this.
Even that, yeah. Yep.
It's good for households as well. I mean, if you can imagine you have a couple of kids and you can't afford to buy 2 Xbox. No, thank you.
That first part, can't imagine.
Yeah, no, not happening.
Right
teething is a bitch. Right. One could have the Xbox, one's got the PC, and the families don't have to fork out, $1,000 for 2 machines. It's all of a sudden becoming more affordable, isn't it? It's a family game.
I want to say too how funny it is that you're in this EA press conference and as if Fortnite didn't own the world enough, they're literally name dropping Fortnite and being like, "We need to be more like this game. Did you see how much they made last month? Fortnite does it. We need to do it too." Just they are running the show right now. Way to go, Fortnite. Anyways, moving on. EA is interested in making a standalone free-to-play battle royale game.
That's about the what? No-brainer.
At this point,
That's
it's
not
it's like Timmy's grandma is making a battle royale game coming out next month to iOS. So we get it. Everybody's doing this. I know. But okay, so EA CFO Blake Jorgensen during the call was asked whether they would release Battlefield 5's battle royale mode as a free-to-play standalone. Unsurprisingly, Jorgensen responded saying that it's very unlikely that would happen, but he didn't rule out the possibility that down the line EA would make its own free-to-play shooter. Responding to the question of Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode becoming a standalone, Jorgensen said, "We're interested in experimenting with free-to-play standalone game that might be a shooter genre or another genre entirely, but I don't think that's how we're looking at Battlefield stuff right now." So, that to me says that it won't necessarily be a franchise they currently own or use, but they're clearly probably looking at making their version of Fortnite or PUBG or something, clearly. So,
do you think they can keep up with Fortnite? The way Fortnite is, it almost every week they've got something new that's been dropped in. I can't see any other company kind of going by those rules. The way I'm looking at some of these news stories about we're making our Battle Royale game, it's, right, let's quickly knock out a free-to-play game, let's get cosmetics, let's reap the money.
I think what you need to think about here is, how big EA is compared to the developers who are making The Calling 2. you know who EA is, and especially if they attach this battle royale mode to a game, which I mean, it sounds like this isn't what they're trying to do, but if you attached it to a game like Star Wars Battlefront, the amount of skins you could put out for that, like in game, like well, they're already doing the skins and stuff for the normal Battlefront 2 game, but just as an example, it's like there's so much stuff you can do there, and I'd totally be down with a Star Wars battle royale game. Sure,
totally.
Me too. I just can't see them keeping up with the weekly content or the weekly changes.
I don't know if that cash flow's coming in. You can do whatever you want.
I was about to say, you put enough money towards a project, you can make things happen the way you want them to happen to an extent. I mean, it doesn't necessarily translate to sales, but yeah.
They don't do it with FIFA.
Well, stop basing all of your...
they don't...
FIFA
they don't need to do it with FIFA. You're still buying the cards, Chocolate.
Well, that's true. That's true. Keep on talking.
It's like, hold on, I gotta buy some more cards real quick. You just reminded me.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Click, click, click.
Well, that's the thing. This is a news story from... I mean, this was earlier this month, but Epic upped their creators' pay. Like, for people who, like, create the dances and stuff, like not all that stuff's coming directly from them. That can be from like freelancers and stuff like that, but they're upping their pay for things like that from 70% to 88% of what they make from like the skins and dances and stuff, and they did it retroactively. Like, that's how much money they're making, is that those people that created all the skins in season 1 are getting paid back that extra 18% because they have so much money that they don't know what to do with it. So it's like, if any company is making Epic money, it's like you can do whatever. You can hire whoever you need. You can bolster your staff up to whatever amount to get these updates weekly. And like, that's totally. I think you just need to see the revenue come in first before it's something that you can actually attain.
Well, it's that double-edged sword too of like, they had the aspect of like, this is a awesome PR feel-good story of, hey, look what we're doing to help the community, but let's not forget, this is only motivating even more people to make assets and constantly pump them into the game and give them weekly content to put out. Like, it's just so genius. It's not even funny. They are making so many smart moves, and it's like we asked last podcast, when do you ever see this slowing down for them? I don't anytime soon. But
no, it's as long as
I don't know what the ceiling is.
I don't know if there is one.
Yeah,
until Fortnite 2 comes out, whatever that means.
It's like it's always weird when people say, I'm like, what is that even? It's like when they say Minecraft 2, I was like, what even is that?
It's
like,
the same thing you're doing now with a different number at the title
with
screen.
With the 2 in front of it.
Yeah, I think
slightly better graphics.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I if there's a company that can do it successfully, it's like EA is a big enough company to do it. I just think that a lot of the crappier battle royale stuff we've been seeing has just been from smaller studios who are doing it as a cash grab and not trying to look at, like, it's like, hey, this is a fad right now, let's cash out quick. But if you have a company that's trying to actually stick with it, it's as long as you're not making bad decisions. Like, I know PUBG isn't doing as well right now, and that's definitely because Fortnite is doing it so right, like with everything. It's like any move PUBG makes right now kind of looks shitty compared to what Fortnite's doing.
Totally. Yeah. It's one of those things to where, like, even when they did the Battle Pass, it's like a great idea in theory, but you also have to retroactively work from the point of view of, like, we're also not a free-to-play game, and we're offering a Battle Pass. Yeah, that's an easier pill to swallow.
When you didn't pay anything to begin with.
When you did, and not only that, but Fortnite offers you the ability to get the money to pay for the next one without paying any additional money.
Right, your $10 lifetime spending that you could potentially do to enjoy Fortnite content forever. Like,
totally,
that's a crazy low cost of entry.
It's just going back to that theme of, like, they so freaking nailed the free-to-play model more than we've like. I think it all culminated to the Fortnite game, to where, like, we've been struggling with free-to-play for a long time now, where it can be really crappy and okay at times, and some people get it, some people don't, and then Fortnite just nailed it out of the park, totally.
Yep.
To where you don't feel bad about, well, I say supporting. I need to stop saying that with Fortnite. You don't
You're not supporting anything at this
they're
point.
they're drinking martinis on a yacht off of like their volcanic island they own or whatever. But like, yeah, it's you just don't feel bad about putting money into that game the same way you would have like when Battlefront 2 come out and it's just like, oh, this is kind of gross. Like, yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, next, what do you hear that? Listen.
Warning, incoming missile.
What was it?
I don't know if you just listened to that sound, but I think you know exactly what's coming up next.
I'll be honest, I was waiting for the baby monitor to kick in. I was like, oh, I didn't hear it.
The baby monitor's going off, but it's only their mobile, so it's fine.
Gotcha.
So, name the phrase. We've been running this for a while now, so I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. All I'm going to say to you is the first word is going to be just. So that's just. So you've got another 3 podcasts to work out the other 3 words. Then you'll have to email us at cagpodcast@gmail.com and we'll randomly choose a winner. And now back to the news. Right, further details of MS's next console.
Microsoft, dude.
Why did
Just
I?
say
Yeah,
Microsoft.
That wasn't even intentional, I swear.
I don't even know why I did that. Anyway, so codenamed Scarlet. Doc, you have got a shed load of info here.
Yeah, we're gonna break this down pretty. This has been going the rounds. I'm sure this probably isn't the first time a lot of you are gonna having heard this, but we'll kind of break it down more so to see what your guys' thoughts are on this. So via Thurrott.com, we got some more information on what Microsoft is planning in terms of console or consoles, because we know that Phil Spencer at E3 said we're our next iteration of consoles, plural. So first, Microsoft is building a traditional console that you would expect from the Xbox brand, a la Xbox One X, your traditional powerful box sits under your TV. But they are also looking at launching a separate, smaller streaming box alongside this box at the same time. For the specs of this device, it's still not known at this time as it's the early days of development for the piece of hardware, the more traditional box. But what I am starting to hear more is that the second device, a streaming box that is designed to work with the company's upcoming game streaming platform. Again, it's what Phil Spencer talked about at E3. Scarlet Cloud, is one person called it, is a game streaming service that we have all been envisioning ever since Microsoft showed off a demo game streaming at its all-employee meeting back in 2013. But this time, Microsoft has a path to bring it to market. This second console that the company is working on is a lower-powered device that is currently planned to ship with the next-generation device and is designed for game streaming. But the catch here is that Microsoft thinks it has figured out how to handle the latency-sensitive aspects of gaming. So before we go any further, what do you guys think of the idea of a powerful traditional console for $499 and a streaming-only box for, say, $200? What do you guys think about that?
Go on, Risky.
I mean, like I'll always say, options are good, and it's like a streaming box definitely isn't going to be built for everybody. A lot of that's going to come down to your ISP, and if you have chocolate speeds, you're not going to be able to buy this because it's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to stream the games and then also stream like your Call of Duty game, like the servers for that, plus having to actually stream the game. That's how it's working in my head, at least. Like that.
Yeah. You're
not going to have the bandwidth for it unless like Google Fiber people are going to love this $200 system. Right. But even for someone like me, I still don't think my internet, like I'm at 100 and 100 right now, and I don't think I'd be able to purchase the $200 streaming only one. Like if my girlfriend's streaming Netflix or something, and there's too many different variables to how that could affect your multiplayer gaming, at least in its early stages. Maybe like Gen 2 of this would be good, but I'll be in for the $500 whatever shiny box comes out next, though, for sure.
Sign me up.
Who I am. So,
does it come with Banner Saga 1, 2, and 3?
If it doesn't, I'll just rebuy them anyways. So, But no, I don't think you could. You could definitely release the $500 box on its own, but there's no way you're doing the streaming box as your only updated console. Just wouldn't work.
Well, let me. Okay, so I guess here's the other question too, because like the big part of this article is saying that they, for whatever reason, they genuinely think they have figured out the latency issue, but to an extent to where there was people on Reset Era saying that the rumor is that Microsoft is trying to make the streaming box work to where you would have as little as 30 millisecond input latency, which is actually not bad. I mean, like you can get monitors that have as little as 5 or 10, but 30 is not bad, especially for a TV. On a network as low as 10 down, 1 up. Now, I find that hard to believe.
That's the thing.
But,
I don't believe that at all.
That's
that's blowing my mind if that's a thing.
They've really worked some magic. Well, here's the one thing that I guess we always forget. There are 2 companies in the world that when it comes to cloud computing has cornered the market, and that is straight up probably Microsoft and Google. I don't know if anybody even comes close to them, unless I'm forgetting something, right? I mean, Microsoft's whole business is based on cloud computing and cloud services now. So theoretically, if there was anybody that has the muscle to possibly make that work better, it's probably them. But even with that said, all I've got to base it off of is PlayStation Now, and PlayStation Now behaves as if what you would expect a streaming service to behave like, not that great and with latency issues.
Right. But
so
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
You've got to take a right punt on it as a consumer, haven't you, to be 100% confident that your internet is stable enough to, well, for you to have good games. Otherwise, you are going to have such a bad experience gaming, and you're going to point the finger at Microsoft.
Oh, totally. Oh, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, think about it. Like, there's so many variables that comes into a internet connection in a house. Do you have a router? What kind of router do you have? What speeds does the router support? How far is the router from your Xbox? Is the Xbox hardwired with the cable? Is there other devices using the internet right now? What's the, how much are they downloading right now? Like, there's so many variables aside from even your download speeds that it seems like there's just such a wild card as far as how this system would behave consistently,
Yeah, like I said, you've got to be 100% confident that your internet is going to be on point, which I'm not risky. I'll buy the big one, the big boy, because...
And that's the thing, even, like, I'm pretty confident in my internet, but still, like, I'm just picturing all the things that could go wrong. And, like, does the console act like a day one release on, like, a Call of Duty or, like, Destiny or something, where it's, like, you crash the servers with how many people are trying to connect with their Xboxes?
So, yeah, I'll continue here, but theoretically, yes. So this is what they go on to say. The cloud console will have a limited amount of compute locally for specific tasks like controller input, image processing, and importantly, collision detection. The downside of this is that since the hardware is needed locally, it will raise the price of the streaming box, but it will still cost significantly less than what we are accustomed to for paying for a new generation console, which should help expand the platform's reach. Furthermore, the benefit here is that Microsoft's cloud platform reaches around the globe and data centers in every major market. This makes streaming the game platform available globally, but this also likely means that it can run on any type of device. Of course, Microsoft would love you to buy their hardware, but the company's end goal is that you can access Xbox from any device, anywhere, and Scarlet Cloud is looking to deliver this idea. When it comes to games, all Scarlet games will run on all Scarlet devices, meaning both Xbox consoles will be first-class citizens, and there is not expected to be an awkward, this game only runs on the non-cloud Scarlet. Also, all games moving forward that you have purchased on back compat are expected to be forward compatible with all new Xbox family devices. So, they throw in that catch of like, the box is going to have some tech in it. Again, this is going to absolutely be proof is in the pudding thing. Like, you're going to have to show me in so many different scenarios that this thing is foolproof to a crazy extent. But
Well, they'll get Digital Foundry to
Oh,
bust
gosh,
all the myths, won't they?
well, can you imagine all the we think it's bad now with review videos. Imagine how many YouTubers out there. Like, I can't wait for we're in the parking lot of McDonald's here, and we've logged into the public Wi-Fi. We're gonna test out Scarlet Cloud real quick. Like, can you imagine? Like, there's gonna be videos for everything for this thing. Like, of all scenarios. Like, I don't know. I'm traveling down the road in my van, and I've got my like Wi-Fi hotspot on my 4G phone. You know, like, we're gonna try out Scarlet.
Yeah, maybe we can.
Is that the same van that Ryan uses in Rocket League?
Hopefully not.
The exact same van.
Or maybe it is. All right. So maybe
You might want to take a shower after you leave that van.
God.
What?
No, you're not wrong. There's no windows.
Cross country trips, you know, you gotta shower when you can.
Yeah.
What can
I don't even know where to go from
man.
here. Well, I do if we're done with this story.
I think the crux of this story is just, do you guys? I think we're all in the same agreement that we'll believe it when we see it. We find it unlikely to think that they've solved it, but this is intriguing to say the least. Does that probably sum it up?
Nailed it on the head.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, great if they do. We're probably all gonna buy the physical big box.
Yep.
But
Whatever's more expensive, I'm in for that one.
Risky's like, is there a combo where I can buy both? Is this an option or no? Okay.
No.
Should be
What kind of deal do I get on both? Oh, the full price. Okay, I'll get it.
$700. Perfect.
Sign me up. Yeah, so that's it for this week though. That's all we got. Took more of a deep dive in that one, but yeah, that was
It's
it.
all good. All right. Well, since Chocolate is back, we missed Chocolate's call out challenge earlier,
You did.
but we'll bring it back right now. So,
Let me get into character.
all right. Next
Go.
up, we have Chocolate's call out challenge. So last week, you called out Castle Willkill of 16 Ounce Gaming, and the game he chose was iDarb. Since then, the match has happened, and now here's Chocolate Bear to chronicle exactly what went down. Chocolate Bear.
Well, there was a cheating going on. Lots of cheating.
Oh shit.
I can't even say that I won the game. I couldn't even edit the video so it looked as if I won the game. So I lost. Castle had the M plus character though, so I think he had a little speed boost every time he moved. So he was always getting to the
Probably
ball
paid for
before
it.
I was.
Yeah. I thought Castle was a stand-up guy.
Pay to win.
It's just you
That's
learn,
all it is.
I
learn
think
something
he-
new every day, right?
He was a definite pay to win guy. But that game's up on YouTube, and to be honest, we don't want to talk about me losing. So we're going to wipe the slate with that.
Yeah.
I'm still 1-0 up.
I got to watch some of it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll forget about that. We'll move on.
Risky. Basically, imagine if you had a wide open dunk, and also that you're capable of dunking, but like a wide open dunk, and nobody's guarding you, and you go up, you've got it, and you just hit the front of the rim and fall on your back. Imagine that, and then you've seen part of the match.
I love it.
And you do that 3 or 4 times.
This sounds great.
It's pretty great.
If I wanted to find this, it would be over at the 16 Ounce Gaming Family YouTube page, correct?
It would be.
Well, all right.
It will be, and it will also be in our show notes
Yes,
when I put it in there.
100%.
100%.
So,
But anyway,
who's this week's victim?
this week's victim, I'm calling out, brother. The one, the only, old man of 16 Ounce Gaming. And that's Surf. Surf the Biscuit is getting called out.
Oh yeah!
I mean, who puts Surf on a biscuit, eats it, and then spends the rest of God knows how long in the hospital? I'm calling him out because I can. You're going down, Daddy.
We got to work on your brother, by the way.
I know. It's really late over here, so I have to be kind of half
Okay,
quiet.
all right.
But otherwise, I should have gone, now listen here, brother! And then kind of flowed into a,
Slightly better.
Yeah! The macho man is ready.
I don't know why you don't do this more.
Well, if we did a little bit earlier, maybe I'll just knock out some sound clips.
I can throw them in there for you.
Oh.
All right, so
But I've got 2 words for you. If you don't like it, you can... Okay, I was waiting for you two to go suck it.
oh, is that a wrestling thing?
Oh, Jesus. Where are you from again?
Hey,
New York.
Quick PSA. You can't play surf on Wednesday, Thursday nights. That's his local senior citizens bingo tournament. So any night but those nights, he's good to go.
You're acting like Chocolate's not at the same bingo hall with him.
Look,
Oh, you...
Hey, man, you want to talk about the real free-to-play experience? Let's talk bingo sometime.
We'll talk about cruising down those senior citizen halls. That's the free night.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Well,
We're not going to do any of that.
no.
We're going to move on. And we're going to end this podcast.
I apologise for the mess this has been.
It's a beautiful mess. It is every week.
That's right.
Sexy and whole.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have chose my words.
Nope, you're good. I think you did it. You did it. We're good. We're yep, I'm gonna close out the show now. Okay. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So who's messing around in the Google Doc? Who's doing this?
Oh, I think you know.
I'm just putting the that's the link.
Okay, great. So if you would like to support the show, you can reach out to us at patreon.com/CAG podcast. It's been a rough one. Always is.
Tell me about it, brother.
Nope.
Nope.
We also have merch. The link for that is in the show notes if you want your cross-Atlantic gaming hats. I even saw we have crop tops. So
What?
if you want to bring that back, especially if you're a dude, I think that'd be sending your pictures to Chocolatebear80 at gmail.com.
Oh, thank you.
If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, you can reach out at CAG Podcast. Email us at cagpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to catch up on old episodes, we're at crossatlanticgaming.cast.rocks. We're also a part of the 16-ounce gaming family. You can join us on Discord, where we're all chatting every day. Funny story about Discord, quick. I have it up on my work computer all the time. And the IT guy remotely hopped into my computer today to do some updating or something, unbeknownst to me. And I was just in the middle of typing something, and then my cursor moved and started to click on a bunch of stuff. And then he went down to the bottom of my desktop, and he quit out of Discord. So
Mother. Oh, yes.
we might be having some type of discussion or some type of write-up coming up here shortly for me. The only saving grace was that I was not in the Where Dreams Go to Die channel. I think somebody would have come out.
That was an HR meeting waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah. There wasn't even going to be a meeting. It was going to be,
yeah,
we're going to have to let you go. But yeah, that just goes to show how active some of us are in Discord. We just keep it up on our computers while we're working all day.
I normally have a fight with the IT guy when they try moving the cursor. I try and take it back off them.
Sometimes you get a good IT guy who brings up the post-it notes, and he's like, hey, is now a good time for me to do some updates? And you're like, yeah, man, sure. Or let me finish this quick. This guy was like, oh, no, this is not work appropriate. Click out of this.
What happened to the good old days of IT guy etiquette, you know?
Right? And then it's like I'd get a break in the action, so I'd click out of the 14 pages of gaming news that are up in my tabs that I don't want anyone to see.
And then I jump on my Switch and play Fortnite.
I'm a hard worker. Leave me alone. Yeah, so like I was saying, the Discord links for that are in the show notes. Also, Facebook and YouTube, you can just search 16-ounce gaming family if you want to interact with us anywhere there. As far as the Twitter and Instagram go, make sure you're liking, subscribing, following, all that good stuff. iTunes reviews are huge for us, and I think that's enough plugging. So, if you want to reach out to me, I'm Risky the Kid everywhere. How about you, Chocolate?
I'm Chocolatebear80 everywhere.
And Doc.
DocH1X1 everywhere.
Well, that'll do it. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye-bye. We ran out of steam a little bit there.
Next week's a new episode, and you're all going to love it. Woo!
Sorry we ran out of gas.
Next,
Oh my god, we're still
we'll
recording.
refuel the
Oh,
truck.
shit!
Oh, turn it
Where's
off!
the button?